Well, delighted to be joined by Darren Ferguson. It's what day is it today? It's Bank Holiday Monday today. So, can you put into words how that weekend was for you?
It's difficult, Phil. It's difficult. Still trying to process the whole thing and the realization that we're back in the Championship. It's not really sunk in yet. I've got to be honest. It was a hell of a weekend. I mean, you go into the game thinking, well, you just need a point, and then the way the game went, it got away from us. And then I think those 25 minutes sum up my team. That probably sums up this team, this group of players. They just never know when they're beat. And to end it in the way I mean, you couldn't write it, could you? You know, if you had to put a script together for a game, that would be it. And the big man steps up, smashes it in, and the referee blows his whistle, and it was pandemonium. It was great.
I mean, let's go right from the start, because obviously the game against Lincoln was always going to be tense and fair, because obviously what was at the stake. How did you feel that first half went, and how disappointed were you not to get in at 1-0?
Well, going into the Lincoln game, I had a decision to make what I started with in terms of formation. I wanted to go back to a back three. I watched the game against them early in the season, and I just felt we'd get more control of the ball that way. And it certainly it sort of transpired that way in the first third of the game, without really hurting them. We had one, I think, where Sammy got blocked and then Dems got blocked. But we were certainly playing okay without creating as much as I had hoped. We didn't get enough crosses into the box. The boy Bramall, left back, dealt with Wardy quite well. He got out to him quick. And Butts, you know, he was the one that's probably you're thinking he's going to get more crosses in. And then, of course, goals change games. And, you know, Tom flew up the pitch with the ball, giving it away. They've broke. We've got to stop the cross. We don't. We've got to then pick the boy up. We don't. It's an easy goal. The easiest goal you'll score all season. So at that point, you're thinking, okay, regroup. We'd spoken a lot to the players about not changing it and getting away from the game plan, because we sort of did that on the Tuesday against Doncaster. So the big emphasis really was, okay, getting them in at half-time, 1-0 down, and we regroup. And then, of course, Tom gives away a really silly penalty, you would have to admit. And the boy Grant doesn't miss them. You know, we knew they had the most penalties in the league, and I think we've given away the most. So that's not a great start. And, of course, you're 2-0 down, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, right, we're staring a little bit at the abyss here. So I got them in. Mark Robson was very good. Mark was very vocal. He spoke to them, then I spoke to them just before they went out. And I just said, look, the clear message was get the next goal. It doesn't matter, 85 minutes, 89 minutes, just get the next goal. And of course, they go and score. The boy Scully scores an absolute worldie. And at that point, you've got to think, well, my thought process then was, I started thinking a goal difference. I started thinking, if they get another couple, we're going to need to go to Doncaster and win, never mind draw. And at that point, I'm thinking, well, we need to just stay in the game. And I was just thinking, what do I do? What should I make subs? And Dem scored, you know? And you start thinking, okay, well, get another one. And this is going to get very interesting. And obviously we know what happened. At 3-1, I think what got us promotion, and I don't mean to disrespect the boy, was Hopper's miss. The game's over at 4-1. And it's a clear chance. And then Jono gets a deflection. And at that point, I thought we'd go and win it. Never mind draw it. I looked up and thought, we've got about 15, 18 minutes to go here. We get another one soon, we'll win this. And of course, I think the game went flat about 86 minutes. I just thought, nah, they just kept it. And they had a period, probably the only one they had since when Jono scored, where they just kept the ball. Jono had a header off the bar. Dems tried to thread Jono in and just overhit it. Then Frankie had a header, and you're just thinking. So at that point, again, as a manager, you have to think quickly about, I always think towards the end of halftime or the end of a game, what am I going to say to the players? And in my mind, I was right, I need to be positive with them, and I need to cling on to the fact we've got a couple of goals back, and we have to take that into Doncaster. And of course, the referee gives us a break with the penalty decision, and Jono puts it in.
Talk about the substitution of Ethan Hamilton, because actually that proved critical in the game, because he was obviously involved in I think he was involved in the first goal, I think, putting the ball out to Butts, but he was so athletic from midfield. Did his change actually become very important with how that game changed?
I think he was the key to the change. He was the key to the way the game changed, the dynamics of the game changed, because he had the legs, he had the energy, he was up and down, he got on the ball, he was brilliant. And this is why, as a manager, you have to always manage your squad, not just to, the 11 players at play. Throughout the whole season, I've always maintained that this is a scored game. Everyone's going to be needed. Jack Taylor felt his hamstring after 10 seconds of the game and just carried on. Didn't tell anyone. Jack, you know, bless him, he's given everything for the cause there. And that just, again, shows what the players are like. But Ethan's come on and he's ran all over them, I have to be honest. He was brilliant. He created the goal and then he went on another run. He overhit a ball. He just needed to calm down at that point, and he did. He's been a great signing for us. He really has. And he's been brilliant when he's come on in games, I have to say.
And then the penalty award, it must have been really difficult for you as a manager, because I know what it was like, because obviously we all got so excited when the penalty was awarded, but of course he's still got to stick it away. What was going through your mind at that point?
I was quite calm. You know, there was a lot of noise going on around me, and I kind of checked myself, and I don't know if you've seen, but I actually stood quite to the side of the dugout and almost, I think I sat on the barrier. So I'm thinking, right, if he scores, I need to calm the players down, because I'm thinking in my mind there's probably another minute to go. And I don't know if you've seen my reaction. I kind of just went like that, obviously relief. And then all of a sudden, H and everyone's on the bench, off the bench. And I'm like, get off the pitch, what are you doing? Get off the pitch. And I'm screaming at him, get off, get off. Then I go to put Niall Mason on for Sammy. Or Dems. I think maybe I was going to put Sammy on the left. But anyway. And the chairman screaming, don't put a sub on. It'll be another minute. Don't put a sub on. And actually, at the end of the game, I didn't even know if Niall had gone on or not, right? And then Joe kicks it and it goes backwards. And I'm thinking, Wardy, what are you doing? And then I just looked at the ref, and when he went, I thought, he's not blowing. I thought, it's not over now. He blew his whistle, and I swear to God, I mean, even now, I get emotional about it. It was the greatest feeling ever. It was, the effort has been incredible. It has been absolutely incredible. It's 2 years of non-stop fighting and effort and preparing, and it's just, I'm knackered now. It's just so rewarding for everyone. You guys, the amount of help you guys have given me, and we've always worked together well, and videos been made, and what I'm thinking to myself, I can't do another video after this game. It's too much, and if I need to do one, but the effort these players have put in, and everyone, from the chairman, who's been magnificent, the owners, who it's their first promotion. You know, and I speak to the chairman after, and I've seen his interview. His interview was brilliant. A really, really good interview he gave. Really clear and what it meant to him. He phoned Natalie. Natalie was in a fit of tears. I'm phoning Nicola. Nicola turned it off at 3-0. She's crying her eyes out in the spare room. And I phoned her, and she didn't answer. And I phoned again. I'm thinking, what are you doing? She picked the phone up, and I'm screaming. She went, no, you didn't do. She starts crying again. It's like, it means so much to everyone. It's incredible, the journey we've been on, and we're back in the champ. Elson will enjoy it, but you know, I've got a meeting tomorrow with Wednesday with the owners. What day is it? Monday, isn't it? Yeah, Wednesday. I forget what day it is. And we'll go through what we need to do.
I mean, you talked about the players and the effort they've done. I mean, you've obviously managed teams, you've had promotions and what have you, and you always speak about character, you always speak about togetherness, and you always speak about getting the most out of a group. And I don't think you could have got any more out of that group, could you? They literally gave their last breath for the team.
It's a great way of putting it. They died for the cause. They really did. You've seen them at the end, falling on the floor, crying, tears. The whole emotion came out. It's all been kept in. It's all, you know, we're at a point now where we couldn't give any more. It honestly was like that. Everything was released on Saturday after the game. Every emotion came out, because you're holding on to it and you're thinking, come on, you're preparing for Tuesday at Doncaster. You go 2-0 up and you think, come on, guys, get it done. Then they have an unbelievable performance for them in the second half. You then prepare for Lincoln. I'm thinking, what do I do? I then speak to the players. I was quite calm before the game. We did a lot of prep for it. And then you're thinking, oh, God, how am I going to get these up for Doncaster? The only saving grace on my mind was I've got 8 days. I'll do it. It'll just take me a couple of days to manage to get to see them again. But then we did it, and we deserve it. We absolutely deserve it. This group of players are brilliant to work with. Brilliant.
I know the chairman said in his interview that the sacrifice obviously he's made with his family, but you have as well. I mean, the sheer, I think people understand that a lot of work goes into football management, but when you take into consideration what happened last season, the short spell in the summer, the amount of work that was done, long hours, I'd imagine probably, as you say, your missus probably hasn't seen you for more time. You've probably seen Mark Robson more than your missus over the last 18 months. I mean, it's an incredible effort to put in.
It is, but it's worth it now. Every inch you give, every second you're working, you're preparing, you're organising. You know, the pandemic has caused a huge challenge for me in terms of connection with the players. But we've managed to do it somehow. You know, my missus has been unbelievable, I have to say. She deserves, I think the chairman called it a sainthood for Natalie. He's absolutely correct. Nicola's been there every Wednesday morning. She picked me up. I was really felt, God, all right, what have I got to do? And she was like, come on, get yourself going again. She was brilliant. She's been brilliant all the way. And it's things like that. You don't want to, that people don't see. I didn't want to put her through another week. I didn't want to put her through another week of waiting and anguish and maybe watching Tuesday night and then winning again. I didn't want to do that because I'd given everything, you know, and it was just relief. So you're happy for, you know, I'm happy for Nick and the kids and everyone. I'm sure they're delighted that it's out the way, I've got to be honest.
Talks about Mark Robson. Obviously, he's come back in this year and sort of showed exactly what he's all about as a coach. But obviously, not just him. You've obviously got Mark Tyler there. But I think when you have a season like this, probably sports science comes into it even more than any other year because you obviously trying to prepare players for games left, right, and centre. And I think, you know, as you've said it countless times over the last month, how pleased you've been with the fitness of the squad, and that's been key as well, hasn't it, to get you over there? Because a lot of teams have struggled with that.
It's a real team effort. My staff have been brilliant. You know, when I appointed Mark Robson in the summer, we've worked together before in a slightly different capacity because he was first team coach. I had Kev with me also when we got promoted. But it was a no-brainer to get Mark back, and I have to thank the chairman because we nearly pushed to get that one. But they knew he was the number one target. I was not going anywhere else until I tried my best to get Mark. We managed to get it done. He's a great coach. He's a great guy. He's learnt a lot since we've been apart. You can see that. I've learnt off him this season. He's been brilliant for us. He's very, you know, methodical in the way he works. The rest of my staff, that continuation from the season before, absolutely fantastic. You know, we brought Ben Britton, who's done the analyst side. First time he's ever done it. He's learnt as the job's gone along. Only a young kid. He'll never forget this. He's worked tirelessly. He knows how I want to work in terms of the preparation. He's very thorough for opposition. And then the rest of the staff, Craig, Matty, first time Matty's had the job, you know, they've been brilliant. But what we are as a team, you know, and I as the manager, obviously, are in charge of them all. But, you know, when we have, they understand how I work. They understand what is demanded of them, but they also understand that I'll give them an opinion. I'm not one that just, I listen to what they've got to say. I give them responsibilities. For Craig, it's probably got the more responsibility in terms of the players training than anyone. And I have to listen to him at times, you know, like Jack Taylor, when he got injured, I'm like, I want him back. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm not risking anyone. This is the time schedule you're giving me. Can we try and get him back a little bit earlier? We got Jack back a week earlier, but I wasn't there saying, right, I want him, because then it runs the risk of further injury. So they get my trust, so which helps them. We work together very, very well. You know, and people like Bob, who's been there for years. I looked at Bob on Saturday night after the game. He's delighted. You guys, Liz, who's been brilliant for us. All the people who work the training ground. It's a real effort. The chef, everyone. So, but my staff have been brilliant. And no need to change anything for next season, even though we're going up a league. Matty Everton, Simon Davis. Matty's come in and helped us brilliantly. He's going to be a really good coach. Scarfy, a very good friend of mine. Known him for years. He's been incredible to work with. He's always been there. He's a very calm, collected person in terms of when things are going mental around you. You need that voice and just calm down sort of thing. You know, other people, John Schofield's come in, and other people, I probably forget some people, I apologise, but you know, and everyone knows how we work, and it's a real team effort. And they all deserve this as well. They all deserve to be successful. They all deserve to work in the championship. along with everyone else.